Most people see what you appear to be. Few feel what you really are. Niccolo Machiavelli once wrote that the greatest art of power lies in controlling the invisible. And in the modern dynamics between men and women, there is no greater power than what remains unsaid. Most men spend their entire lives waiting for a clear sign, a direct confession. They wait for a woman to look them in the eye and say, "I want you." That is the first mistake. A woman who is strategically or emotionally invested will almost never tell you directly. Why? Because evolution and social psychology have taught her that direct exposure destroys her leverage. She will not speak, she will signal. She leaves breadcrumbs of attention, psychological patterns so subtle that 95% of men walk right past them without noticing. Today, we use the cold, analytical lens of Machiavelli's laws of power to decode the greatest riddle of modern seduction. We are not talking about obvious smiles or accidental touches. We are talking about the 7 hidden, subconscious signs that a woman wants you. Signs she is actively trying to hide, even from herself.
And the 5th sign on this list, it contradicts everything you have ever been told about attraction. If you miss it, you lose the game before it even begins. Let's begin. Sign 1, the tactical proximity. Machiavelli knew that whoever controls the territory controls the outcome. When a woman desires you, she will begin to manipulate the space around you without making it obvious. It's called tactical proximity. Watch how she moves in a room full of people. Does she happen to sit at the same end of the table? Does she suddenly appear near you to grab a drink the exact moment you are standing alone? She isn't breaking your personal space, not yet, but she is strategically placing herself in your orbit so that you have the opportunity to initiate the interaction. She delegates the risk of the first move to you while she builds the stage. Sign 2, the emotional calibration. In the discourses, Machiavelli describes how vital it is to mirror the mood of your counterpart to build deep, unshakable trust. In a woman's subconscious, this is called emotional calibration. When you look at her reaction, not when you are making jokes, but when you are serious. Does her facial expression match your energy? If you lower your voice, does she lean in? If you make a sarcastic remark, does she adopt your tone?
A woman who has no interest stays emotionally distant. Her frequency remains flat, but when she wants, her nervous system synchronizes with yours. She calibrates to you because her brain is signaling this man is a priority. Sign 3, the micro-interruption loop. The 3rd sign is psychologically fascinating because it often looks like an accident. We call it the micro-interruption loop. When a woman likes you in a group setting, she will subconsciously interrupt the flow of other people's conversations just to pull your attention back to her. This could be a sudden glance at you while someone else is speaking, or a question directed solely at you, even if the topic was completely unrelated. She does not tolerate your mental energy being wasted on anyone else in the room. To the untrained man, it is just a dynamic conversation. To the Machiavellian, it is a precise, unconscious claim on your attention. Sign 4, the flaw presentation. No one reveals their flanks to an enemy, but Machiavelli explained that feigning a strategic vulnerability is the ultimate weapon to draw the other person in. When a woman wants you, she will stop trying to appear perfect in front of you. She will reveal a small, controlled flaw. She might tell you about a mistake she made at work, an insecurity from her past, or something that genuinely stresses her out. This isn't complaining. It is a psychological test. She opens the gate to her inner world just a fraction of an inch to see if you are strong enough to enter, and if you can provide safety. If she only shows you her polished, perfect sides, you are just a spectator to her. If she shows you her cracks, she wants you. Sign 5, the negative spacing reaction. Here is a sign that most men completely misinterpret. The 5th sign is the paradox of attraction, or negative spacing. Sometimes when a woman develops intense feelings for a man, she will suddenly pull back. She will become distant for a few days, take longer to reply, or seem almost cold in conversation. The average man instantly panics. He thinks he lost her. He begins to chase. But the Machiavellian understands the core of human nature. She isn't pulling back because she dislikes. She is pulling back because her feelings for you have become so strong that she fears losing control. She is watching to see if you run, or if you possess the calm composure of a leader. Her withdrawal is often the loudest cry for your attention. Sign 6, the memory recall test. The 6th law of Machiavellian analysis is information gathering. When a woman wants, she becomes a silent silent historian of your life. She will remember details you forgot you even mentioned. The mechanic is simple. Weeks after a casual conversation, she will suddenly bring up the name of your childhood pet, your specific coffee order, or the exact project that stressed you out a month ago. Why? Because when a woman is attracted to someone, her brain treats every piece of data about him like pure gold. While you think you're just making small talk, she is building a deep psychological map of your character. Sign 7. The gaze of select. The final sign is the most primitive and the most honest. It is the gaze of select. When a woman talks to a man she doesn't care about, her eyes wander. She looks at her phone, around the room, at other people. Her pupils are restricted, but when she desires you, something biological takes over. As you speak, her eyes don't just hold yours. Her gaze travels in a distinct triangle from your left eye to your right eye, down to your lip, and back up. It happens in milliseconds. It is the sensory scan of intimacy. Her subconscious mind is already testing what it would be like to be physically closer to you. She will never say it out loud, but her eyes have already made the decision. The art of Machiavellian observation lies in ignoring what people say and watching what they do when they think no one is decoding them. These 7 signs are not a guarantee of an easy path. They are the tools to read the silent language of desire. But this brings us to a much deeper, almost dangerous question. What happens when a woman shows you all of these signs, but you realize she isn't doing it out of attraction? What if she is using these exact signs as a strategic weapon to gain total control over your emotions? How do you separate real, raw desire from cold, psychological manipulation? That is the dark territory we will analyze in our next video. If you are ready to open your eyes completely and see human psychology for what it truly is, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Tell me in the comments below, which of these 7 signs have you noticed a woman showing you without realizing what it actually meant? Watch the pattern. The world is always speaking. You just have to learn how to listen.